Some of you guys have already heard about whole cows out there, and we're going to be talking about their product here. Is it worth the hype? They have some big commitments that they've made out there that they are never going to have their cows on the sauce. So the beef herd is not on the sauce at all and will never be. They made comments that they will never offer lab-grown meat. They will never have artificial beef. And it's U.S. born, U.S. raised beef all the time, and they've built direct relationships with their ranchers to make sure that these standards are upheld. But beyond that, the question is it good stuff? Is it worth the investment? This is a little bit more of a premium product, and there's good reasons for that. One is because of the control that they have over this, but then also we're talking about big chunks of meat. And also we're talking about some premium cuts of meat are offered as well. And so if you want something that's a little better than just cubed, the worst, toughest meat that they can get into that can, then this is potentially an option for you guys. If you're looking for like steak cuts that have a little bit higher fat content, they're going to be a lot nicer, you're not going to be able to find that out there. You can find beef crumbles, and then you can get the beef cubes in some of these cans, but a lot of times, if you read the reviews, the beef cubes in a metal can turn into beef powder, right? And so if you want beef powder, you can get those cans, and sometimes you'll get some cubes in there still too. But the way they package these things, I think, is really smart because when you get to them, they're all just still big chunks. Now, Whole Cows is a sponsor of the channel now, and they did send me these two to try out. And what you're going to be seeing here is about half of this package. I ate some of this before just to kind of test it out, see if I was happy with the product, which I was. And now you're going to be seeing before you kind of some of the ways I kind of prepared for this demonstration. And one of the ways is that you can just eat it straight as steak. It's not going to be rare. They do cook it before they put it in the bag, sous vide or whatever it's called. Basically, they put it in a bag and then boil it. The bag goes under the water in boiling water to cook it thoroughly, but that doesn't get it wet, right? So it's not like boiling. It's different. But the process that they have does fully cook it through, so it does kind of come out a little well done in taste when you rehydrate it, and that's just the way it is with that. But other than that, it's a good taste. It definitely has the texture of steak. You're eating steak, and that's a big perk, right? So if you're looking for something kind of put on top of if you have a lot of food stockpiled already and you're looking for some comfort foods and stuff like that, this is a great comfort food to go on top of that. Or if you just have a really good budget and you're stocking up and you want to make sure you have some good stuff. So this stuff is packaged in Mylar bags. So it's going to last. So this thing is dated to expire August 1st, 2048. Now, I don't know if the United States will be around that long. I'll be like, retirement age by that time. So it's going to last quite a while in the Mylar bags. The Mylar bags does allow it to keep it from turning into that beef powder. So that's a big plus right there. You can feel how put together it is still. This bag is not open, but I can feel it at the bottom here. I'm not feeling a bunch of powder down at the bottom. And at the one that's open, there isn't like a pile of powder at the bottom either. So they do package these well. So that's a good thing. So comparing this to like the cans out there are like Nutri-Store, they have the chunks of beef. But if you just read those reviews, it turns to powder. And if this is supposed to be like a pick-me-up, a morale-boosting kind of meal to your meal store, getting there and just having beef powder is really not going to be a morale booster. I mean, honestly, it isn't. Having a meal where everyone gets a little bit of steak or putting a little bit of steak on top of your meal. As you can see, just putting a little bit on top of some lentil curry. I know it's sacrilegious to have Indian food with beef, but I've been kind of experimenting with that because, you know, I'm not Indian. So, so that's a lentil curry, which I make a lot of times with my Instant Pot. Just putting a little bit of steak on top of it just increases the taste and gives you something to bite into. And that's what I think that a lot of this really is all about, is having something to bite into. Even canned meat, it tends to be really soft and kind of gummy, whereas the freeze-dried beef retains the texture a lot more of something you can cut into, something you can bite into. And so for a lot of these reasons, all around, from their direct partnership with the ranches to be able to control the hormones, control the sauce and all that kind of stuff, like from going in there, making sure that these are actual U.S. raised and born calves that are being slaughtered, and also even controlling the slaughtering process to make sure there isn't chemicals injected and all sorts of preservatives and everything like that. I had to throw some salt onto my steak and on top of the curry, because one of the things too is that you'll see in these packages is that there is no added preservatives, there's no salt put in here. They just take the beef and they cook it and then they freeze dry it, and that's it. And so you're gonna have to season this yourself, which for most of you, that's gonna be a big win, right? Because you wanna season it the way you wanna season it. Whether you wanna put lots of salt on it or whether you wanna make sure that there's no salt, because what it's going into maybe has canned goods in it and already has plenty of salt in it. So you get to control that. This is a veteran-owned company, U.S. made, of course. And one of the big things that I just want to point out there too is that while it's an investment of money to get any kind of meat products that can store, whether it's canned or freeze-dried, one of the big things that we need to be pointing out is the fact that we're going to be seeing beef prices skyrocket here in the future. And having shelf-stable options, a lot of you have limited freezer space. There's only so much steak you can stick in the freezer. There's only so much beef you can get into your freezers before you're going to have to look at either canning or some other option out there. Now, if you can your own steaks, I don't know how that texture would be itself. I can just speak to the commercial options out there. And when we look at Keystone beef, that's not a steak. That's like roast beef, right? At best, roast beef. When you talk about Nutri-Store, when you look at even Mountain House, even their cubed stuff, you're looking at tiny cubes, and a lot of it does turn to powder. It's not steak. It's not. It's like little bologna cubes, really. So if you're talking about quality, Whole Cows is there. If you're looking at making sure that you're not getting any of the stuff from the mainstream meat packing industry, Whole Cows is the way to go. They process whole cows. I mean, that's in the name, right? They raise their beef and then they process it, and so there's all different kinds of cuts. There's all different kinds of qualities that they offer in the freeze-dried. And so if you want to get the higher fat content, the better tasting, better texture beef, steaks and stuff like that, you can do that. But realize that the shelf life is a little bit more limited on that. But I mean, we're still talking decade kind of thing. Or if you get the lower fat content stuff here, you're looking at 15 to 20 years, which is a lot better. This is at 25 years because it's got really low fat content in it. And so that's good stuff. It's good for storing up long term. And so I opened up this one to try it out and to give you some ideas and stuff like that. This one's probably going to go back into deep storage, and whenever I need it and whenever I need a pick-me-up in my food storage, I have some steak available to me. So if that kind of makes sense to you guys, you can use I got a coupon code for 15% off from them. So if you click the link There'll be a link up on the screen here towards the end of the video. But if you click on that link, or if you click on the link down the pinned comment down below, and you use the Poplar 15 code, it will give you 15% off, which is a win out there. If you buy the bigger multi-packs, that's where you really get the price discount there. Remember, every ounce of freeze-dried reconstitutes to 4 ounces of steak or beef. And that is a great option out there. All right, folks, is this the best option for you if you're just starting off with food preparedness? If you don't have a really high budget, if you're just trying to get the stuff put back, rice and beans is the best way to go. If you're looking for some pick-me-ups and some morale boosters out there, whole cows is a great one to look at, because it's really going to boost your morale if you're anything like me, because that's the downside with all the canned food and the prepared foods, like the rice and beans and all that kind of stuff like that, is like you just want to have something that you can dig your teeth into. And if you don't have some bread, or if you don't have something that you can really bite into, the mushiness of it all just can kind of get to you after a while. And having some steak to bite into is a big win. All right, folks. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop them down in the comments down below. These guys over here, I've been talking a little bit with the CEO and everything, and just getting some more information out of them. I'll be getting some more information about the slaughtering process out to you guys. I've been kind of wanting to check in on that. I know that they do stuff to make sure that there isn't chemicals in there, but I was kind of wanting to get some more information on that, and so I'll definitely get those things out to you. Like I said, they are a sponsor now of this channel, letting us keep doing what we're doing, even in the face of all this YouTube censorship and ad blocking and stuff like that. It's a headache, and it's not your problem, so I don't want to make it that way. But I just really appreciate them coming alongside with us and partnering with us, and they are a good product and for a good, reasonable price. I really appreciate their commitments to U.S. made. We're talking about that a lot, right? U.S. made, as well as the fact that they are all about making sure that the stuff in your food is just food. Nothing else, just good old-fashioned beef in your food. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching. If you want to click straight through a link, make sure you use the coupon code POPLAR15 at checkout. And if you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of The Poplar Report, out.